if you are on this high dose of chemo, you're probably not going to be able to have kids.
What advice can you offer to maybe those people that are watching that maybe are in the same boat?
I'm telling you, when you have a child, it is such a different kind of love that is unexplainable.
How do you, as a man, show her what healthy love feel like? Hi guys, welcome back to the Holistic Hottie, a soul-centered podcast where we tackle raw conversations with intention and authenticity. Today we'll be talking about the weight, the beauty, and the responsibility of fatherhood, especially when it comes to raising a young girl into womanhood. Today I have with me Tim Weber, loving husband and girl dad. Tim and I connected over his inspirational story of overcoming the battles of creating a family while navigating his cancer journey. For my viewers out there who are first-time fathers, we'll be leading with advice on the journey of raising children, what it means to lead with love and intention, and how we can make sure we're setting the bar high when it comes to raising our future generation. Hot, healed, and high vibe, let's get into it. Tell me more for the viewers. I know you and I connected, but tell me more about your journey with cancer, what it has taught you about adversity and being present in life.
I had stage 3, basically stage 4 melanoma cancer that had spread to my lymph nodes. I went through a couple surgeries, and then I went through high dose chemo. Let's go high dose chemo every day for 6 weeks, and then
Wow.
three times a week for a year. So I'm at like 100, maybe like 210 right now. I was down to like 130 pounds. It was crazy. But in the middle of my cancer treatments, I remember a nurse came up to me and said, are you dating anyone? And I was like, at the time I was actually single, and I was like, no. And I'm like, why, you hitting on me? And she's like, no, I'm not hitting. She goes, I don't know if anybody told you, but this dose of, it was called interferon, the drug, the chemo they gave me that they don't even use for melanoma anymore. And she said, because if you are on this high dose of chemo, you're probably not gonna be able to have kids. And I was growing up, I was the kind of guy that just always wanted kids. I loved just being around. I wanted to be a teacher for a long time. So that was like heartbreaking. The most crazy part was she said, with this drug, if you get someone pregnant, the mother might not survive.
Wow.
Giving birth. Luckily, near the end of my treatments, I actually started dating my now wife. I started dating her during my treatments when I was doing the self-injected shots, but she would just stay with me and hang out with me. And I thought that was like the most beautiful thing. Here I am as I am a cancer patient. I don't know. And she's like spending time with me. So that's how we like fell in love. And when we got married, yeah. And, I'll just say, in the running joke when we got married was, so, I gave a speech. I said, I was afraid she was going to just say it was all part of the Make-A-Wish program,
Right.
beautiful girl. And like, why do you like me? I'm like 130 pounds, but we built this like beautiful friendship. And, I think that's what it was about like dating, because it was such different circumstances, and we were able to talk and get to know each other. And, as you know, today it's hard dating, and,
Absolutely.
Kids do it, I fear for my daughter. We'll get into that. She's 13, but it's the swipe left, swipe right generation. Everybody, ghosting is like a common thing. It was just different. So we got real serious, and then I became cancer free. And then I was afraid, because I had to tell her, like, I might not be able to have kids, and that's, if we're talking about our future. And she's like, I don't care. I just want to be with you. If we need to adopt, we can adopt. And I thought that was beautiful. So let's not think about it, because when you try to have kids, I feel like you put that pressure on it, so she got pregnant. And I remember, it was I crashed my car. I had this really nice convertible sports car, and someone hit me on the way home from work. And I came home and I was so sad. And then she told me she was pregnant. And I literally
turned everything around.
I was running around. Sorry, she was like nervous. Like, she's like, I don't know how you. I'm like, dude, are you kidding? Like, I want to like a miracle. I was cancer free. It'd been a year out. We figured out she was conceived in Chicago. So I named her middle name as Wrigley, after Wrigley Field, because I wanted something Chicago. So
I love that.
I call her Wig, Quinny Riggs, So her name is Quinn Wrigley. And that she is just the light of my life. And it's like a miracle baby, and, all of it that goes with it. And I was so nervous during her pregnancy, was everything going to go okay? But yeah, so that is the long story, longer on how I got to where we are with the baby. Then we got married 2 years later, and we're still married. And then Quinn is 13 now. So yeah.
That is such a beautiful story too. And I love how you mentioned that your marriage really started on the foundation of friendship and patience and comfort throughout your whole journey of cancer too. And I think that's a beautiful thing because, as you mentioned, nowadays dating is not like that. It's very tricky to get into those long-term relationships. So I think it's beautiful that what you guys have is still ever growing. And I think that's a lovely story. And now you have your baby girl. You said she's 13 going on 30, right? That's what they all say.
13 going on 30, yeah. So yeah.
How do you stay present with your daughter as she's growing faster than you can even count?
I drive her to school every morning, and that's our routine. My wife does the pickup. The rule is in the morning, she can have her phone, but she can only play music. She loves music. She loves discovering like new bands and small bands. But she also likes, the bigger people like the Taylor Swifts and Olivia Rodrigos, but she really loves these bands. So I'm like, you can play your music, but that's our time in the car. That's like 25 to 30 minutes every morning. And I want her to talk to me. You know what I mean? I want you to be present so that we can just talk in the car. And it's just me and her. And it's like, I like to give her advice, or she can tell me about school. She can be open and honest with me, talk about boys, talk about her friends, whatever gossip is going on.
In our day and age now too, with technology, left and right, I think those little moments really add up to the bigger picture, because I can only imagine, I nanny in the mornings, so I do drop-offs with kids and stuff like that. And sometimes it's really just quiet. And so they're on their phone on TikTok or whatever it is. And I try to be more engaging as well, because there's a lot, like you said too, even when you do have to take her phone away, it kind of says, because that's when she can be like a little more involved, because she doesn't have, the phone in front of her all the time. So also kind of going back a little bit to, having faith during those moments when you were told you can't have a child, and then trying to conceive and get to that journey. What advice can you offer to maybe those people that are watching that maybe are in the same boat? Maybe they're trying to have a family, and it's like you said, sometimes it dentures a relationship. It puts too much pressure.
The biggest thing is, and I know it's easy advice to give and it's hard to take, but you have to get it off your mind. And you don't want to make it like sex is, you're doing it to have a baby. You know what I mean? Now, and I know a lot of people do that, and they'll be like, oh, I'm ovulating right now, we gotta have sex right now. And then it's like, you don't want to lose that passion and that, and that connection that you have with each other, and, the lovemaking, honestly, because it's not wham bam and it's like we're gonna make a baby, because now you're just, it's becoming like a job,
And I know this is easier said than done, but honestly, the art of worrying is so useless. It's out of your control. You're only creating more stress. You can't do anything about it. And I've never had that experience with that battle, and I'm sure it's hard, but when we kind of understand the idea of worrying and all the stress that it brings, rather than something giving us a solution, putting that away can, like you said, just do what you have to do and get it done, and just stay on that path, because that's all you can do. That's all that's in your control. So now we're going to dive into fatherhood. I'm not a parent yet. I do want to have children of my own one day, but they always say, even anything in life, honestly, you're never going to be prepared or ready for what you want to do. So I wanted to ask you, is it true that you're truly never prepared for fatherhood, no matter how much preparation you do?
Yeah, it's funny, because when we first had her, in the hospital, I remember we taking her home, and I'm like, I think I've seen this before. They're like, dude, there's no instructions. You just go, you're trusting me with this baby? I don't know.
You're just going to be locked up with this child.
Yeah. I had my mom came in, and that helped, because it's like, I don't know what to do with a baby. And I remember being in our bedroom, and then we had her in the baby crib, and I would get up in the middle of the night just to check if she's breathing, because I'm afraid this kid's going to die any day. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to fail. And then it's it's tougher, because my wife, or the mother of the baby, really has that connection with her, she's carrying her for 9 months. I'm on the outside. She already has that bond. But I was in the delivery room, which was really special, and being there in the delivery room and witnessing it and being there with her. And it's it's just me, one other nurse, and my wife, and she gives birth. And it's I can't even explain. I never, I'm in love with my wife. I love my wife, but I'm telling you, when you have a child, it is such a different kind of love that is unexplainable. I needed to make my own connection with her. I needed to bond with her. You just do whatever you feel is right. Because I feel everybody's got every baby's different. Maybe a baby sleeps at night, doesn't sleep at night. You want to wake it up. You don't want to wake it up. You have to feed it. It's just do whatever you feel. That's what I say. I say, just do whatever you want to do. I'm not going to give my advice on someone and say, hey, this is how you raise your baby. You should wake it up every 2 hours, So we
Right.
just let her sleep. We did our own thing. And, she was fantastic. I mean, we were knock on wood. She was a great baby. And I definitely bonded within 6 to 9 months, and it was beautiful.
Oh, that's lovely. And I think that's so beautiful too, because I was doing some research about fatherhood and things of that sort. And a lot of the time, the biggest thing that we see in today's society too is that a lot of fathers are not present in the home. 1 in 4 children grow up without a father in the home, and that leads to increased poverty, risk of behavioral issues. Some other numbers that I wanted to share with you that I found really interesting is that when you have a child that grows up in a fatherless home, they account for 71% of high school dropouts and 90% of the homeless and runaway youth.
Put it into perspective. Absolutely. Those numbers are all real, and it is true. And it is about how you're raised. I agree.
And I wanted to ask you too, because I know you said you wanted to be a father forever. That was always your dream. How did your relationship with your own father shape the way that you showed up as one?
My dad was amazing. My dad, I have a twin brother, fraternal twin brother. I have an older sister, and then I have a younger sister. My older sister is about a year older. So my mom and dad had basically 3 babies. She was born in April. Twins came a year and a half later in July. We were the surprise. My other sister 5 years later. So we had those 3 kids. So my dad, it was a typical suburban family. Grew up in south of Boston in this really nice town called Hingham, and my dad worked at Polaroid, then later on worked at some other really big companies. My mom was strictly stay-at-home mom. It was like a sitcom, you know what I mean? It was
Okay, right.
But what my dad did, which was amazing, was so since he had 4 kids, he did this thing called one-on-one. So every weekend he would spend with one of us. It would be me, then next week it would be my brother, next week it would be my sister, next week.
Oh, I love that.
So my brother was super into sports at the time, so he would take him to a basketball game, take him to the Bruins game, go watch a game, go do something. But for me, it was movies, and he took me to the movies. And what was great was he took me to movies he wanted to see. He didn't take me to kids' movies. He took R-rated movies. He took me. I saw all these great movies that got me to fall in love with filmmaking. I work in the entertainment business today, and it's all because of my dad. And because my dad took me to the movies, and we just had this great relationship growing up. And then I eventually worked on a bunch of TV shows. And even if I worked on a show that wasn't that great, he would watch it, and he would just or just to call me the next day, and he would say what was his favorite part, just to prove that he saw it. And I'm like, you don't have to watch that show. It's not that good. But he was so just supportive of me and everything I did.
And that's beautiful too. Also, because as we talked about previously, all the statistics that show what is to happen for these children that don't have the father in the home. But conversely, someone like you, it inspired your passion for filmmaking, right? And that's where you got into it career-wise. He gave you all these gems of advice that also translated into your love life. So there's so many different avenues of great gems that your father gave you to also make you a fantastic father. And just from the stories that we shared, it's so beautiful to hear that connection that you had, because like I said, a lot of these kids don't have that. But also on the flip side, those statistics that I shared with you, I have some other statistics that show the benefits of having a father in the home. The kids that do have kids in the home are 43% more likely to earn A's throughout their school time, and 80% less likely to spend time in jail, and twice as likely to join college and graduate with a degree. So I know there's so many different ends of the spectrum, but focusing on this one, I think it's beautiful that the way that your father raised you translated into your fatherhood journey. And I think it's so beautiful. I love that, just having that bond and connection. And that one-on-one time is genius. It really, especially when you have multiple children, how do you fit all of them together? And doing that little one-on-one time that's a great tip of advice too for anyone watching who has multiple children, is trying to navigate work life, marriage life, and children. Doing that one-on-one time is great.
Until later on in life, I realized that not everybody had the same relationship with their dad. A lot of people, I hate to say it, they don't do that, where they do the one-on-one time and they do that stuff. And they didn't do a lot of stuff with their dads. Their dads worked, and then they're just tired on the weekends, and they just kind of do their own thing. And it was really special. And, I thank him for that. And, I went to USC Film School. I went to college, and, a lot of it has to do with him. And like I said, I fell in love with movies because of him. And, going back to your other question about saying the moment, that's what I do with my daughter. That's why I like to do one-on-one. I like to do daddy-daughter days, and we do a lot more than usual, where I'll go take her to get her nails done, and I don't care. I'll go get my toes done. It's like it was one of the greatest finds ever, is getting a pedicure. I get the phone.
Oh yeah.
Her nails done. We go clothes shopping. I went with her to get her ear pierced. She got her double helix. I held her hand because she knew she was so scared. She got 3 or 4 earrings. We'll go to the movies. I've taken her to see Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I've taken her to see Vacation, Apollo 13, older movies that come out. It's I do something she loves, and then I take her to do something I love, because I want her to share, that I love movies. But she loves music, so I will do that, and I don't like standing in line, but I'll do it for her,
So kind of going into all the great and grand things of fatherhood, what is the biggest blessing that fatherhood has brought you?
The greatest blessing fatherhood has brought me is time, really. It's that's one thing that slows it down, and just makes me kind of like just enjoy the moment a little more, and just, be present. And just watching her grow up, it's like me reliving my childhood. And then also just being a girl, like I don't know what it's really like for a girl to see it through a girl's eyes, and then to be there to give her advice about guys and whatever it may be, and going through, her period and her hormones.
All of it.
It changes like what your meaning in life is. Like I work from home now. I don't work as much. She's really into volleyball. I go to every single one of her games. I try to go to her practices, but I just want to be present. And it just makes me appreciate life a little more. And it makes me, and it's cheesy to say, but it's like meaning of life. It's like, this is my world. Like, I am okay now. If something happened to me, I'm okay. I don't feel like I'm competing with anyone. I don't feel like, I don't want to worry about the future. I don't want to look at the past. I just want to focus on right now and her.
Absolutely. The present is a gift. I love that. On the flip side of things, what is the toughest lesson that fatherhood has taught you?
Trying to learn patience, honestly.
I bet.
And it's hard not to get angry and mad,
Right.
like, because I'll get involved. She'll be fighting with my wife, and she'll be like, "This is your business," and she gets all sad. I go, "No, because first of all, this is my wife. This might be your mother, but this is still my wife, and you're just,
right.
And like, that's where I'll come in, and I'm the stern one. I'm the stern parent. Like, she knows when I take away something, it's not coming back. My wife is a little bit more lenient to be like, it's gone 2 days, she'll get it back in a day.
Not when it comes to dad.
Yeah, you're not going to that pool party. Oh yeah, then my wife like, no, you're done. It's like, I want her to know there's consequences, but it is hard. Patience is hard. I gotta remember, she's 13, she's hormonal. She is on her period, it is a lot, and she turns into the exorcist, and I have to just, it's hard not to be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, how, like,
right.
mind, but you gotta remember, it's like, I'm not talking to someone that is my equal, it's my child. Oh my God, she drives me crazy. Then as soon as she goes to sleep, I miss her,
Right. She's the light of your life again. Transitioning now into parenthood with you and your wife. What does being a supportive partner look like to you in parenthood?
So a supportive parent is one that absolutely has your back. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, we are a divided front. If she says something, I'm going to back her. If I say something, she's going to back me. You never want to, we just don't fight a lot, but if we do fight, you don't want to fight in front of her. You know what I mean? That's
Absolutely.
a big thing, because they will feed off of it, the energy. Like, there's no reason to do that. And, you just don't want to put each other down in front of her. You know what I mean? And then the big thing, my wife is really good. I follow her lead. We're blessed because she does have such an eclectic group of friends, and they are, of every race and gender, and, and it's beautiful to see, you know what I mean? And she's that kid. Yeah, she's that kid that can just be friends with anyone. She doesn't judge. She's very sweet. And, we just want her to be her, but me and my wife, we got a really good partnership. You know what I mean? I take her in the morning, she takes her in the afternoons, and my wife is great about, like, if I want one-on-one time, she's very, and then sometimes my wife is great because she'll be like, listen, I don't want you to be the bad guy here. So this one is going to be on me. I'm going to take it. I don't want you to be the bad guy, which is really sweet because she knows that I'm the stern one, but she doesn't want her to look at me like the bad, and it's really sweet. So they, and they have a beautiful relationship. I think my wife is really smart being a woman and dealing with all of that stuff and the hormonal, and she calms me down because I'm like, and she's like, no, listen, you don't know what she's going through. You don't understand,
Right.
So I think that's where my wife is really good at keeping me grounded. And we're just a really good team, and it's important. You have to be, like we said, a divided front. You know what I mean?
I
you
love
just got to one another, trust, what they're going to say, and the judgments and whatever you want to do. And we have discussions when she's at school about her future and other things and what we want to do. But it's we're really good co-parents. You know what I mean? It's good.
That's beautiful too. And I think that's a great piece of advice, is to be a team when it comes to being a parent to your children, because I am guilty of it too. When, back in my days when I was younger as well, you get a yes from dad, but you get a no from mom. You know what I mean? So you kind of go around backs and, so being that divided front, being a team, those are all great pieces of advice. And also taking turns too. I think marriage and parenthood and any relationship really is teamwork. It is 50-50. And if you are going to have those days where you don't want to be the bad guy for once in a while, and your wife wants to take on that role, I think that's amazing, because it brings that balance again to your marriage too, not just parenthood.
Yeah. It's hard when two people, because you both do have different ways of raising a child, but to be able to come together and to figure out the best way to do it, and to just have faith and trust in one another and what the other partner is going to do, and to be able to back them. And there's probably stuff she does I don't like. She's probably stuff I do that she doesn't like. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm taking a psychology class right now on marriage and in long-term relationships. And they say that the toughest years of marriage are when children are before they're 18, raising a child together. So I know you said it's difficult and every day looks different than others, but having that solid ground, I think, is really key, because it all, like you said, before she was a mom, she was your wife. So I think that's something really important to remember too.
That's the other thing too. When you have kids, you forget that she's your wife. You know what I mean? You don't want to look at her, because a lot of people, I think, with marriage, she becomes the mom. You know what I mean? And she's doing a lot of mom stuff. And it's like, you got to remember at the end of the day, that's still your wife and someone you fell in love with. And you have to that's hard. And it's like, you got to keep that up, and that's very important. And you got to remember, that's why you want to be a team, because you don't want to fight about because I think, I'm sure in a lot of marriages, people fight about, why'd you do this? Why'd you do this with her? Oh, you're against me. Why did you say this in the car? Why did you say this in front of her? And I feel that happens a lot, and it's hard not to, and you just have to bite your tongue sometimes, and that's why they say bite your tongue hurts, because you just got to do it.
I know you mentioned that something that you and your wife do, you don't fight in front of your daughter, which I appreciate, because they soak up all that energy. How do you personally navigate stress or fear without projecting it onto your daughter?
You just have to know when is the time and the place to have those conversations. And it's like anything. It's like if you're just a couple and you're out in public, you don't want to fight in public. Yeah. And to curb it, you wait till you get home. You want to wait till she's asleep and then bring it up. You wait till she goes to school and then talk about it. You know what I mean? It's the same thing as when you're dating and the early stages. You just don't do it if you're at a family party, you're in public, kid or no kid, it's, you just know the environment, the time and place, and you have to, and kids feed off of that energy. Kids feed off of the anger, kids aren't dumb. They know if and my daughter's friends, their parents are starting to go through divorces now. She's starting to see that in her friends. They're getting to that age where, and I think the kids, I would ask her, did the kids, she's like, no, they weren't surprised.
Oh, yeah. They know, they pick up sensitive and cues.
Yeah. They're not dumb when they can see body language. They can see when mommy and daddy don't like each other, and when they're saying stuff under their breath, and it's just little stuff. They're not stupid. So yeah.
And it's so important to really, going back to time and place and keeping that away from your children too, because when I become a parent, something that I want to implement is not letting my child, as best as I can to my ability, not having them feel my stress, or whether it's a financial stressor, a relationship stressor, because I don't want that to pour into I don't want them to worry about like, are the lights going to get shut off? How are we going to pay the bills? Mom just lost her job. Dad just lost his job, whatever the case may be. So taking all these pieces of gem too. So I appreciate you for all that knowledge, because, I want to be the best parent I can be too. So I think it's important for the viewers out there as well to kind of take what you can when you get it. They say fathers are a daughter's first example of a man. Being in that world will strongly affect the way your daughter views men growing up, how she feels about self-love, the safety she feels around men. How do you, as a man, show her what healthy love feel like?
I think that starts in the home with me and my wife, and just showing her a healthy relationship and what a healthy relationship is like. And then I also talk to her, like I'm very open to her about boys and what dating is like, and letting a boy in, and just talking to her and being open and honest, especially for a girl, and with social media, and being very careful, with what's out there, and just try not to be dumb. And I get it, but I'm like, just don't do dumb things, and then my wife is the same way. She's very good with giving her advice, being a woman, and of course going through her period and all of that. That's where my wife is there to help her, which is really great, because she needs that to just remember her confidence, because it will go, and and just guide her through girl relationships. Even as 13-year-old girls, they're just like you said, like a bunch of junior high girls. They act like that. Why wasn't I invited? Why was she invited? And then my wife is very good at explaining, well, maybe you didn't ask if you wanted to go. Maybe they thought you were doing something. Like, you need to put yourself out there. Like, she's very good with those relationships. And I think that helps.
And studies show too that when you have a two-parent household, the emotional resilience in daughters increases a lot too. And daughters who receive daily confidence talks and stuff like that, their self-esteem goes up 70%. They're more resistant to bullying, anxiety, and they're 75% less likely to struggle with self-worth and sadness too. So I think that's a great thing, because when you talk about raising the future generation, and times are different and stuff like that, is you can be so susceptible to comparisons on social media, cyberbullying, and things of that sort. I think these are the conversations that you should be laying and putting out now. So as time progresses, technology advances, and also AI too, also all these different components.
Oh, absolutely. So important. And like you hit it right there, was the comparison, the social media. That's the biggest thing. I just have to remind her that Instagram and TikTok, that's not real life. They're putting something out there that they want their image. They want to look cool. They're somewhere. They want to like show off. I'm like, you just got to remember, and I try to always instill confidence in her and to believe in herself. And a lot of people are doing that because they need validation. You don't need that validation. The likes and the, what I mean? The how many friends you have. Just be yourself. You know what I mean? I'm proud of her, and I tell her I'm proud of her every day, and proud of who she is as a human being, as a soul, as a person. Her,
and that's beautiful, because it's those little things that add up to the bigger picture of who she's going to become as a woman.
I love how she's open to me. She can trust me. Even her friends like are very cool with me. Like me and this other dad chaperone the dances. They weren't embarrassed by us.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very loud.
You're just an all-around positive force too, not just for your daughter, but it sounds like for her friends and your wife and things of that sort. And it's just beautiful, because it just radiates in, just from our conversation alone, in every different area of your life. It just pours out, and you're raising your daughter to have that true sense of character. This is all where it stems from, and I'm sure your wife is just the same, because it sounds like she's a lovely mother and wife as well. One day when your daughter's grown and she's her own woman, and she looks back, what do you want her to say about you as a father?
I just want her to remember me as a dad, and as a role model, and someone she's proud of, someone that she looks up to, someone who she admires. I want to be what my dad is to me. And if I pass away, that when she has kids, she's telling those stories about me and how goofy I was, and any kind of story she could tell, to carry on the legacy. And I also want, hate to say it, any guy she dates, she better be like, he's got to live up to like this guy, so.
Absolutely. You're raising the bar for what she's expecting.
Yeah, I want that the bar is going to be high for that guy. And I wanted her to be like, you got to be like my dad. Exactly.
Absolutely. My grandpa devoted a lot of his time raising me when I was younger. And it's so funny now too. I tell my boyfriend all the time, like, My grandpa spoiled me so much, and that's just not materialistic, but just in so many different avenues. I was just a spoiled, loved girl, and I was like, my expectations are so high. And I think that's one of the beautiful things too, because my boyfriend is such a great caveat to my life, and he's very nurturing and supportive, and he spoils me and he loves me out loud, and that's exactly how my grandpa was. And so I'm sure one day when Quinn decides to get a partner and get married and maybe be a mother too, she has both of these examples of what healthy love looks like, what it means to be a father, what it means to be a mother. And so I think you guys are doing a fantastic job at raising the bar and also laying down the platform for what it is to be a father and a mother.
This journey of fatherhood, it is so beautiful. And what's great about it is every day is not the same. You know, every year it's a different year. She's growing. And to be able to see this baby, you know, grow into a toddler, grow into a kid, and then into a preteen, into a teenager, and just see her personality develop and like what she likes and doesn't like. It is such a magical experience, and to just be a part of the ride, to me it's like watching a movie, and a movie that I just don't want it to end. And it is like a love that is so undescribable, and you're so scared that anything's going to happen to her, and you're so protective, but you love her so much. And you know, even when she's asleep, I just look at her and it's like, I can't believe I made this. Like, I made this child. And just embrace it, and because it does go by so fast. And like I say, anytime I can spend with her and just be my little girl, that's what it's all about. And
Right. That's how you know you won in life.
I truly love it, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful experience.
In today's episode, we got to interview Tim about what it's like to be a father, how he navigates parenting with his wife, and what he wants to leave with his daughter moving forward as she goes into womanhood, and the type of legacy that he intends to create with her. I want to take this time again to let viewers know that the best piece of advice you can take when it comes to raising a daughter is being present, intentional, and leading with love. Also, I want to thank you, Tim, for taking time aside to sit with me and have this conversation and giving me all your insight and opening up and being vulnerable on this podcast.
Thank you, Taylor, for having me on today. And what you do, it is so incredible. This is what I love about like social media and podcasts and technology and everything where we're going in this world, because just to have an avenue for people to go, even like my daughter to go, to watch, you know, to have the guests that you have on, to tap into the different subjects that you tap into, and stuff that's probably not comfortable to talk about, and other things that people just don't, but to be able to have a place to go and get answers and just hear other people talk. And I think, you know, your voice is so important and needs to be heard. And I just commend you. I think you're doing a fantastic job. You're really good at this. You're a really good speaker. You're not only just your voice, but just your voice in general. You're just really good. You made me feel very comfortable, and I just appreciate it. And I just appreciate you so much. And it really is awesome what you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot, because this is my first time journeying into this avenue, publicizing myself and kind of putting my voice out there. I come from a background of psychology and own personal development and my own thing. So who would I be if I didn't have these experiences to use them to shape the other generations as well? So thank you. I appreciate it.